Hey guys, it's Whitney. I just wanted to give a quick flip through of my 2017 journal. I am going to do this in parts, and I actually did this like last week and my mic wasn't on the whole time, and I was like, oh my gosh. So now I'm going to redo it, and since it took so long, I'm going to do it in two separate sections. So I'm going to do the first half, and then I'll later come back and do the second half. All right, so let's get started. All right, so we'll start out. This is actually in the middle of a black Lecterm journal. This is, and all of these layouts are going to be available at the website at lifebywhitney.com if you want to try them for yourself in your own journal. So head over there, and they are free measurement files, so you can transfer any of them into your own journal. So this is the January 2017 monthly spread. This is the only time I've ever used what I call the shape tracker, and it's because I just got these stencils and was trying something a little different. This is of course the 1st through 31st, and I just kind of staggered it just to make it look cool. The list here is 1 through 31, the days, and these were my blog goals and things that I did for my blog, and these were my me things, so like things I did for myself. So, and I do have the big goals down here. So what this is how I tracked different things for certain days. So I didn't track everything every day. Like I didn't track, like my weight every day. But anytime I have a circle here is actually when I did weigh, and I'm tracking that with a color, certain colors. So the square is the eat healthy. So that's how well I ate that day. And the code is actually at the very beginning of my journal for the key. And this is a key I reference a lot of the time in this early 2017. So this is the key part of the journal. And you can actually see the colors down there on what they mean. So this is the best to the worst. And then there's the steps, whether how well I ate and weight and workout too here. So, and I'll get into the other parts of the key later too. I also track mood and energy the same way with the same colors here. And the shapes, as I went on, I did do the star for social media milestones. So Instagram, I would do the fuchsia kind of color star. Facebook would be blue, and then YouTube is red here. So that is the star, and then steps, I used a heart, and I just referenced back to my iPhone, and it did give me my steps, so I could go back later and do that. I didn't do this through the month. I actually did it at the end of the month. Did all these shapes. So, and then these little books here are when I started books, and I just numbered them here. So the next page, and I do have a lot of skip pages because I film all my spreads, and I try not to have the ghosting that happens sometimes. You can kind of see through it. So when I do film, I do skip a page. So this is January 2nd through 8th. And if you have been following me for a long time, I did not used to, on the website, this is just called January 2nd through 8th, 2017. I didn't used to name my spreads. Now I name them, so they're easier to differentiate, but I used to just name them by the actual date that they were. So I will show you a lot of different ways to track mood and energy and water and everything throughout these layouts, and I'll try and go into detail because there are a lot of them are different. So anytime I have an M or an E, it means mood and energy. And if the colors are different throughout here, I'm still referencing that same key from the beginning, but it's like that was a great mood, so the darker green is great, and then it got okay during the end of the day, so that's a good mood. So that's just like throughout the day from start to finish, and I would do this at the end of the day when I'm winding down and writing in the journal. That's water, and I always do that in ounces, so 40 ounces, 40, 85 throughout the day, and then breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And you will see all these little icons throughout my book, and I still use these. And that is from the key at the very beginning. So anytime you see any of these kind of icons, which I still use, so movie is a little trailer thing. I don't know what you call that thing. Little TV for TV show. If we did that, we cooked in. And anyways, it goes down. Wake time is always a sun and sleep time is a moon. All different kind of things. Package, when we received a package in the mail. Bill pay is the little dollar sign. So that's what all these icons mean throughout here. Nothing crazy different about this spread. I do have a waiting on section here and a notes section. So this is a slanted spread. This is January 9th through 15th, 2017, and the days are on this page. And then I also have another health grid here with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then I have a weather section and a sleep table, which I do use this a lot, and it always, people ask me what this line means, but this is my wake time, this is my sleep time, and then this in between spot is so how many hours I got in during that night. So if I went to bed at 12 and got up at 7:07, I got 7 hours and 7 minutes of sleep that night. Same thing for 11 o'clock, 5:20, I got 6 hours and 20 minutes of sleep that night. This is another way to track mood and energy. The circle is mood and the triangle is energy, and then I have the table here to show you the percentage. So that was actually a very good week, it looks like. So here's another unique one. I do have the days in the boxes, of course, a meals tracker and a water tracker, and then now and later section, which is now things I need to do now. I like to do that before the week begins. And then a later section for later on, need to remember kind of do things. So anything that's not this week. So the mood and energy, I always do it in order, so Monday through Sunday. And then I go through the day again from start to finish of the day and use the colors from my color key to track those things. So next one, January 23rd through 29th. It's another fun little mood and energy tracker. Mood is this first 7 spots, and energy are these second 7 spots. And then a meals section this week and next week. And I have a little news section here, so that's some of the news that's happening in the world. Just when you look back, it's kind of cool to remember what's going on in the world besides in your life too. So I have a gratitude section here and a different way to track the sleep. I did it, I just turned it around. Same thing in the middle here is how many hours I got of sleep. First is wake time and second column is sleep time. And so the next one is January 30th through February 5th. I have this little table, and it's the same kind of thing for start of the day to the end of the day, mood and energy, water, and then steps. And then the steps is from the key at the beginning. This ended up being a meal tracker and then a note section, and then I like to see what song and playlist I'm listening to at the time of my life. So I sometimes put a little song section in my spreads. And then this is like a don't forget section. There's the this week and next week section on here. So this is February. This is a whole year ago, which is hard to believe. I do like the ones with the colored habit trackers down here. It just makes it pretty, but it is kind of time consuming when you are doing it at night before bed or whatever. So I hardly do these kind of things anymore. But here I'm tracking weight, steps, healthy eating, mood, and energy. And then I also have another, the days listed 1 through 28, and just a little snippet about what was going on that day. So these again are, the stars are social media milestones, and then I use some stamps to decorate through here. This is February 6th through 12th, and this is one of my most popular spreads. I think on Pinterest it went crazy or something, so a lot of people have tried this one. But it's kind of fun, and it's super easy to add to your journal. There is a meals section. I use little stickers here from the dollar spot at Target. BLD is always breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Sometimes I'll include an S for snack. But here it's just breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ideas, so those are things that I think about maybe to add to the blog. I did add little weather in the corners here, and then a little gratitude section and a takeaway section. So that's at the end of the week when you're looking back, what did you think about the week? So here is a little cookie recipe. This is my favorite cookie recipe. So I just kind of made it into more of like an infographic kind of thing. I guess just with words, but it's easier to read this little recipe. And now I have a dedicated food journal, so I need to add this to that. This is February 13th through 19th. This is a different type of mood and energy tracker. Again, it looks like a bar graph, and I did do mood always is top with a little upside down V shape, and then energy is a flat line. So that's how you can tell which is mood and which is energy on this chart. And then Monday through Sunday down at the bottom. This is the first time I think I did the word of the day. So at the end of the day, if I was just going to describe it in one word, that's what I put here. So really you can do any kind of word. I do have the takeaway and the gratitude section again, and the sleep and meals section. And this is another pretty easy layout to try that's been kind of popular. A now section is the beginning of the week, and a later section is at the end of the week. My brother is in high school and is on the golf team, so I decided to add his schedule here. And then at the end of the day, I would write, or at the end of his tournament, I would kind of write how he did, just a little snippet about how he did. And then I put the stamps here. These are stamps I got them from Amazon, and I will link the supplies that I share with y'all in the info down at the bottom. So these are calendar stamps from Waffle Flower, and you can make any custom calendar with them. So no matter what day it begins on, you can use your calendar. And see, they have it even starting on Sunday or Monday. So those are kind of fun, and the header's there too. So that's how I did this, and then I circled the days that he had tournaments. So here is another fun February spread. This is the to-do section and done section. So this is what I write before the day begins, and this is how I finish the day, is writing in this section. So what we actually did, and these are more like to-do items that I need to do that day. Another mood and energy tracker, same kind of thing, start of the day and end of the day. An ideas section and a little gratitude section. So this is February 27th through March 5th. Same kind of thing with the mood and energy, and then I put weather in the middle. I did do a one line about today section, so that's just the highlight of your day at the end of it. When you're winding down writing in your journal, it's kind of just what happened that day if you think about it. Favorite song going on, notes, and waiting on section. Now and later up here. All right, and here is a March monthly spread. So this is a little different, and this is something I do not recommend. It looks cool now, but at the time, this is just a habit tracker throughout the month. So the first line on every week is going to be mood, energy, and then sleep, weight, food, and water. And so I did use a stencil here. I was just excited about my stencils, I think, and then I was like halfway through, I was like, wow, that's too much work. But anyways, it turned out cool, and I kept up with it, so that's what matters. I did use little flag stamps for Rocky's tournaments, and just different little stamps to decorate here. And this is a weather tracker. I don't think I was too specific here, but like if it was a cold day, I used blue, and if it was a hot day, I used red. So March is one of those months you never know how it's going to be. This is a super simple spread to try for first starting out, especially. Monday through Sunday on the one page, and then now and later and notes section. And these stamps are some of my favorite stamps, and they're these guys, and I have the upper and lowercase stamps, but they come apart and click together, And so I keep a lot of them together just because that's how I had a lot of my spreads. And so they just snap together, and there's all kind of letters. So I have a few sets from Amazon and love them. So this is a different type of energy and mood tracker again. So if you look at it, this is Monday's column here, and the heart is for mood, star is for energy, and the circle is for sleep. So this is the mood and energy, the percentages, and the colors, and then the sleep, and that's separated by hours. It's just a little different way to track it. This was St. Patrick's Week spread. I'm still not naming the spreads, but I will reference them when I start. This week and next week, and then we have our days in these big boxes. This is a one line about today and a happy thought section. That's just a new section. Mood and energy, once again, Monday through Sunday, and then Monday through Sunday. So some of my blank pages, I just go back and tape memorabilia from around that time just to look back on. This is March 20th through 26th. A now and later section, notes and news section, and then a fun little mood and energy tracker with the shapes again. And then this is just like a kind of fun one to lay out. It was a little hard to make measurements for because it's very just kind of do your own thing, but it was a fun one to write out. And then I put today in a line. It's another one line about today kind of section. This was a home stuff spread that I started, but obviously didn't finish, but it's just kind of the things that we were doing in the house and the dates that we did them. But I didn't complete that, so I need to start that one in the new one. This is a fun one, March 27th through April 2nd. This is a different tracker here, but all of these colors mean something. So it's laid out like 1 through 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, and it references, the first one is mood, and I'm looking at this key here. Second is energy, third is steps, and then fourth is eating. So you can kind of tell how well your day was if you're looking at this color of the spectrum. It's real good, and then closer to here it's not so good. So another sleep tracker, weather tracker, and I actually graphed out the sleep hours that I got on this graph here. Now later, song takeaway, headline and notes, so nothing crazy different here. And for you newbies out there, I do have these pages just like this, but it's just a line, and I'm like, okay, I messed it up, and see it's numbered there, like I have numbered my layouts, they're penciled in, but I obviously just messed up that line. So I do have those pages like that, so don't get scared to mess up a page. See, I think this is what I was working on. So this is completely different spread than a lot of my newer ones, but I loved this at the time. This I called the month by days layout. So I think I do have a how-to video on how I did this one on YouTube. But I separated out Mondays through Sundays and wrote the tasks that I like to do or need to do each of these days during the week. So I used the calendar stamps again up here, and then I actually, looks like April started on a Saturday. So I started numbering here and then went down to Sunday because it was the 2nd. Monday was the 3rd, the 4th, and I kept going all the way down. So once you get finished, all your Mondays are going to be grouped, your Tuesdays are going to be grouped. I just kind of wanted to see trends that were going on my Mondays, on my Tuesdays, on my Wednesdays, and etc. So I kind of did, and then I would like to, like I would post on Thursdays, payday on Friday, same kind of thing. So that was trying to figure out the habits that I like to do and trying to schedule my weeks better. This is April 3rd through 9th. I used the zebra mild liners here on the background. You can kind of see weekly meals section, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I used an actual key here as what is how healthy these things were. So I try and stay healthy, but it doesn't always happen. So that's the worst and the best. Just color coded here. This is the first time I did the week's best section. So I look back on the week at the end of the week and would put my favorite food of the week, favorite show of the week, memory, news, and song of the week. This is April 10th through 16th. Nothing too crazy different. I do the mood and energy in the little border there. And Saturday and Sunday I did kind of combine, but there is a dashed line there that separates the weekend, and have the mood and energy trackers on both sides. This was just a writing spread about my restaurant first. So any restaurant I went to for the first time, I would kind of write down my experience and what we had and how good it was. And this is something that I need to add to my new food journal. This is a fun one. I'm sure a lot of you remember. If you've been following for a while, this is the Big Letter Weekly. I started it out with just the letters, obviously for each day, so there's nothing crazy. But then I ended up adding a mood and energy tracker once I started the week. So this is the little key down here. These are the colors, and then so the horizontal lines stand for mood, and then the vertical lines stand for energy. So I didn't do any change colors here. I just did a general mood and energy. So across that would have been my mood color. So it was obviously not such a good day. And then the energy was like the vertical line, so that wasn't too great either. So I did that for every day, just in the background to make it kind of pretty. One of my favorite spreads still, and one of the most popular. This is back when I was trying to plan my Instagram. Still a good idea, and actually I've started a new spread for this, but back when I was just trying to figure out the whole Instagram thing, which I'm still trying to do that. And then some blog notes. Okay, so this is another fun one. These are circles for the days, and this is actually the very first spread that I did not film myself doing just because I had such a hard time with the compass when I was doing it. Now I have these awesome little circle template stencils, whatever you want to call them, that I got from Amazon, that they are just so much easier to just put down on the paper and trace your circle instead of using the compass. But I was trying to go old school and it was a little difficult. So I do list meals down the side and energy and mood here. Same kind of thing with the colors. And I did do a little weather section over here and a little notes section hiding right here. And this week and next week were right in the middle. So again, I use the icons. These are the little bowl of steaming food is when we cooked in, and then this is the takeout icon, and then this kind of looks like a pizza box, and then this is the it's hard to see, but the table is when we went out to eat. So this is a fun one. This was the May 2017, and it's still a little similar to the month by days. I called this one the month by threes, I believe. This is when I've been so addicted to like productivity books, and a lot of them emphasize just doing 3 main things for your day. So I would have the 3 things. I did group them again with the Mondays together, Tuesdays together. These are the dates, and I would have my 3 things that I wanted to do that day. So those are listed there. I have my weekly 3s, which are the first group is the first week in May, second week in May, and I have the dates here. So the big things that I wanted to finish that week. And then I also have the monthly 3 here. So the big things, big goals for the month. So I really still like this spread. I need to try it again. So yes, I did do month by 3. So if you do try it, do use that hashtag here. Hashtag month by 3. I did try this a little bit, and I need to implement this a little bit better, but now I kind of use a spreadsheet just for certain things that I do once a month. So I was listing them, but I need to have a better way to do that. But the next one is very first week in May. I was doing the 3 thing again, but I'm still not a fan of really how this one turned out. I did have the weather icons here, and then I'd have 3 tasks for the day that I needed to complete. And here, over here, I think this is when I started naming my spreads. So this is the Track 5 weekly spread. I have my key up here, worst to best, and then for sleep it's or less than 5 hours to more than 8 hours. And so this is actually what I'm tracking here is the list here. So 1 through 5. Mood is the first line on each one of these. Sleep is the second line. The third one is just one line about today. Fourth is energy, referencing the key. And then fifth is food and how well I ate. Nothing too crazy different. I was a little messy. Put memories over here. And then a next week section here and a this week section. So I did have some more rubber stamps here. I used these stamps, and I think I got these from Michael's, but if I can find the link, I'll add them. But these are the kind of rubber stamps. If you're not familiar, they go on one of these kind of rubber stamp blocks. And I do have a few of my own now, but they peel right off and stick onto the stamp block, and then you ink it and stick it on your page. And then you can put the little stickies back in their spot. So those are fun ones. I love letter stamps. It just makes it look like it's printed instead of just written. And again, those are those those stick together stamps. Again, this was a blank page, so I put just some memorabilia there from the week. This was my Mood Rings weekly spread. So these are actually trackers, of course, and this is my key up here. I was into neons at the time. I think I got the Staedtler Tri-Plus Neon pack. So I used those colors for the mood and energy here. And then that's just kind of at the beginning of the day and to the end of the day. And again, I would do this before I went to bed, not, throughout the day. I didn't have it with me all times, marking it throughout the day. I would just do it at the end and kind of think about my morning, midday, and then the end of the day. So for mood and energy, weather tracker, some more stickers from Target with my meals and my sleep. And I did a little sleep tracker here. So this is May 15th through 21st. Another tracker that shows mood is the pointed end, and then energy is the flat end. And then I use the colors from the key, and you don't even need to use colors. You can just use it as the percentages down here, but I just like to make it kind of pretty throughout the week. And coloring is stress relieving, I think. So just when you're winding down at night, it's kind of just, if you have nothing else to do, why don't you color some trackers in? I also have the steps tracker here, notes and now and later section, and then a week's best section. So that's nothing specific, but I just kind of wrote out my favorite things during the week. This was a doozy. Seriously, this was my most time spent filling out a spread because it really took forever. So I don't really recommend it. There's easier ways to do it besides these diagonal lines. But I did color code how I was spending my time. I just kind of wanted to see. I did the timeline of 12 to 11 p.m. So that's all 24 hours during the day, Monday through Sunday. And then this is how I was spending my time. So pink is blog, orange is creating, etc. So working was green. So that's just kind of how I spent my hours that time. And again, I would kind of do it at the end of the day, even though I probably should track it during the day, but especially when I'm working, it's hard to do all that kind of stuff. So I do have another week's best section, a now and later, and then this was another way I tracked this week. So mood and energy, you can tell. Mood is going to come around this way, like clockwise, I guess. And then energy is going to go down this way, like the L shape here. So the key is actually hidden here, the color key. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's kind of hard to tell, but that's how I did the key this week. So I started putting my key on individual days just so I could see it. And a lot of the times I don't actually fill the colors until the end of the week. So at the end of the week I pull out the colors and we'll reference the key and do it all at once. So here's another one. I wasn't too happy with how the key turned out, but see, I did see the key on the previous page instead of, the beginning of the book. So I was referencing this key. I might have done this all at once or something, but I did mood and energy from AM to PM here too. And this was a currently section, so what I'm doing this whole week. So I'll just fill this out throughout the week or at the end of the week whenever you want to. And then I also have the days here. This was the Bricked Weekly, by the way. Okay, this is the Spiderweb Weekly. You can tell these kind of look like spider webs. These are trackers again. This is the key down here that I'm referencing, best to worst, actually. I think that's backwards. It should be best up here to worst down here. But anyways, just notice that. And then this is the steps key. So over here is how I reference these. I have the best part of the week, goals and ideas, a notes section today. So I split these into the days and meals. So Monday was this and this. That was when I got the door hanger. So that's actually a cool day. The June 12th, I remember that. So yeah, and then the days go around the sides and then a now and later section in the middle. So this is called the What Did I section. This is kind of like the currently, but this is the first time I've ever done the What Did I section. So this is the What Did I Weekly. So I ask myself, what did I discover? What did I watch? What did I learn? So all these questions throughout the week and would fill it out during the week. A mood and energy, using this key, now and later, gratitude and ideas. So this is the track 3 weekly spread. So when I say 3, I'm talking about my 3 tasks for the day over here, and then my 3 things that I want to track for the week with a color code. So that actually references this key over here. So mood, energy, and steps. And I'm using this key here to show which colors I'm filling in here. I do have another kind of currently section, all these different things, and I would fill those out during the week. This week and next week, memories and headlines. And then a weather section. All the days are on this side. This was the Striped Diamond Weekly, one of my favorites I was real excited about, just because these colors were all blank at the beginning of the week. And then I colored them throughout the week and made it so pretty. So I used the neon colors again. I did use this little key down here for the steps and for the food, mood, and energy. And food is always just like how healthy I ate that day. So that's the reference. I have a song section, gratitude, headlines, notes and ideas, and then another sleep table here. And this, it's not labeled, but it does say meals here. So I guess I wrote down certain meals and then a little weather section. So this is a June. This was actually how I got on my first podcast, was tagging the author to this book. So this is called The One Thing Weekly. And this is based around the book, The One Thing. So after reading this, I wanted to think about the one thing that I needed to do each and every day. And once I did group them into the days. So I'm still trying to figure out my trends here. I obviously did not finish my trackers up here, but these were color-coded trackers that I just gave up on. I do track a lot of this stuff during the week, so it's just sometimes I don't like to do it twice and run short on time. So it's okay if you don't fill out your tracker, it's all good. So I do have my one thing that's the most important thing that I wanted to do those days, and then the other things that I did. So I just kind of kept it short and sweet. And then I have my 3-month goals here. And then these boxes are all my different, the different weeks in the month. And then July, so that's next month. So these are the different kind of goals that I wanted to reach that week, or that month. So I am finished with this book. The rest of it I kind of used just to mess around with. So that was part 1. I am going to do a part 2. I just didn't want to drag this on too long. Okay, so that was obviously the June month, and back in the day, I would do all my monthlies and weeklies at the same time so I could release my bundles when I was doing that. So this actually ended up being at the end of the month. See, instead of at the beginning, I like to do June, of course, before the month begins, but for some reason here, I think I had started on the weekly instead of filming the monthly first. So anyways, if you're not familiar with my spreads and what I do share all the measurements to these, and it is specific to the Lecterm journal, but I'm working to get my spreads so they'll fit any journal. So if you do download the free journal companion at the website, it shows you, it will translate the measurements from my measurements. So this is 1 through 38 through the side and 1 through 26 across the top. So if you number it, it's a lot easier to draw the lines and see where they go. But I am working to make that translatable for all journals. So I also have another part of the journal companion is, say you didn't want to track certain things that I'm tracking. Say you have these 7 days open, but you don't want to track one thing about today. I do have separate blank space ideas. So this is the journal companion, and I do have blank space ideas. So if this is, say, a 7-day box, since there's 7 different sections, these are other things that you could track in those boxes. And I am open to ideas if you have any other ideas to add to these. I also have a single box ideas section. So say you don't want to track the best part of my week here. You could look at all these different things, do gratitude headlines, doodles, a don't forget section, all kind of things. So also have different things you can track in the tracker sections and different things you can track in the currently sections that I have on a few of these pages. And then this is the table, and I do have a video on how to use this journal companion, and especially if you want to change the height and width to your notebook, and I will be going into that in more detail. But I would love if you guys would please subscribe to the YouTube, because I am getting around to more videos like this. And I'm also doing, hi, I'm back. So I'm also doing live draws in my Facebook group every other week. So I try and do it every 2 weeks, but I show you exactly how I draw a layout from start to finish, and I will do a giveaway every time. I order a brand new journal every single time and give away to one of you guys. So love to see you there. Just join the group. I will link it in the info. Please tag along, because I will have a part 2 of 2017 flip through. So stay tuned. Thanks a lot.